They called him Rafi the quiet mechanic, a young man with hands scarred by years of labor, and a heart just as battered. Every dawn, before the sun even bothered to warm the dusty neighborhood, Rafi pushed open the tin door of his small workshop. It wasn't much, 4 walls patched with metal sheets, an old fan that screeched like a crow, and a toolbox inherited from his late father. But for Rafi, it was a sanctuary, proof that even someone born with nothing could still build a place to stand. Life for Rafi was never generous, yet it never broke him. His mother worked as a tailor, stitching clothes for the wealthy. His younger brother sold snacks at school to afford books. Rafi, at 19, was the backbone, fixing engines to pay rent, keeping food on the table, and carrying dreams he never confessed to anyone. His quietness wasn't shyness, it was the kind of silence molded by hardship. But his story wasn't about poverty, it was about fate. 3 miles away, behind marble walls and rose gardens, the billionaire magnate Sir Khazar Raza lived in a world where wealth glimmered from every corner. His mansion was guarded like a fortress, his cars worth more than an entire neighborhood. To the world, he was a genius of business, ruthless, calculating, unstoppable. But beyond his empire, people whispered about his daughter, Alina, a girl who hadn't walked on her own since childhood. Alina was 18, gentle, brilliant, and trapped in a wheelchair that became both her prison and her companion. Doctors labeled her condition incurable, specialists drained fortunes from the family, and miracles never came. Still, Alina wore a smile, a soft one, the kind that survived out of pure stubbornness. Her mother, Madame Sophia, a woman with elegance carved in grief, stayed by her side day and night. Nothing in the mansion was more precious than that girl, and nothing hurt more than watching her struggle. Destiny doesn't knock politely. It storms in when no one expects it. One humid afternoon, Sir Khazar's prized luxury car, the one custom-built overseas, broke down in the middle of the old district. His driver panicked, his security insisted they call a private tow service. But Khazar, impatient and furious, ordered the guards to find the nearest mechanic immediately. That decision, impulsive and annoyed, would change everything for both worlds. They ended up at Rafi's workshop. The sight of heavily armed guards stepping out of polished black SUVs startled the entire neighborhood. Children froze mid-play, shopkeepers peeked through curtains, the gossiping aunties fell silent. Rafi himself stepped outside, wiping grease from his palms onto his faded overalls, confused by the sudden spectacle. "Are you the mechanic?" one guard barked. Rafi nodded. "Yes, sir. What seems to be the problem?" They escorted him to the broken vehicle. Rafi's eyes widened, not at the luxury of it, but at the craftsmanship. He examined the engine like a doctor reading X-rays, listening, analyzing, breathing mechanical intuition into every sound. The guards exchanged skeptical looks. They expected a poor boy to fumble, to fail. Instead, Rafi diagnosed the issue in minutes with calm confidence. "This part overheated," he explained. "It can be fixed, but I'll need time. It's delicate." The driver scoffed. "You? Fix this? Do you even know what you're talking about?" Rafi didn't argue. He never did. He simply returned to work, letting skill do the talking. His hands moved with deliberate precision, wiring, tightening, calibrating. Sweat dripped into the open engine, mixing with oil and dust. For 3 straight hours, he worked in silence as the guards observed in disbelief. By sunset, the luxury engine roared back to life. The driver's jaw dropped. The security chief clicked his tongue, impressed despite himself. And when the mansion's home staff reported what happened, Sir Khazar demanded to see the mechanic personally. The next morning, Rafi was summoned to the estate. He had never seen such grandeur, massive iron gates, fountains shaped like white swans, windows taller than street shops. The inside was grander still, gold accents, marble floors, chandeliers dripping with crystals. Rafael felt out of place walking across carpets softer than his bed. But the real shock wasn't the mansion, it was meeting Alina. She sat near the window, sunlight painting her soft hair gold, her wheelchair gleaming like new chrome. She stared at Rafael with curious eyes, not judgmental, not pitying, just wondering. For the first time, someone observed Rafael not as a poor boy, not as a worker, but as a person worth noticing. "You're the mechanic?" she asked. Rafael nodded. "Yes, miss. Father says you fixed his car better than the company experts." She smiled gently. "That's impressive." Before Rafael could respond, Madame Sophia entered, elegant yet exhausted, the kind of tired that no sleep could cure. "We need your help," she said. Rafael assumed it was about another car. He was wrong. They showed him a motorized wheelchair, one of Alina's newer models, expensive, imported, customized. But it kept malfunctioning, jerking forward, stopping abruptly, and sometimes refusing to move at all. The family had spent millions, yet no specialist could fix it permanently. Rafael examined the mechanism. His brow tightened. "This isn't a mechanical flaw," he murmured. "It's a balance issue. Whoever designed it focused on power, not control." Sophia blinked in surprise. "You understand all that just by looking?" Rafael nodded, and for the first time in years, hope flickered in the mother's eyes. For the next several days, Rafael worked on the wheelchair in the mansion's private workshop. Alina would sit nearby, watching, asking questions, and smiling at his quiet focus. They talked, not about money or hardship or diseases, but about dreams. Rafael told her how he wanted to open a real workshop someday, with proper machines and trained workers. Alina confessed she wanted to travel the world, walk across grass barefoot, feel the ocean tide on her own legs. Two different worlds, united by impossible dreams. Meanwhile, Sir Khazar observed from a distance. He wasn't a man easily impressed, yet Rafael intrigued him. He was efficient, honest, and most importantly, he didn't bow to wealth. In a world where everyone begged or flattered, Rafael simply worked. Days passed. Rafael repaired the wheelchair so smoothly that even Alina gasped at the transformation. But Rafael didn't stop there. Something in him refused to accept that her mobility was limited forever. He studied her movement patterns, balance, muscle response, and began sketching designs of adjustments, modifications no expert attempted. "What are those?" Alina asked, watching him draw.